It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. Reaching way back, well, really not that far back, but reaching a little ways back, that was a band called Hermano with a song called Quite Fucked, and a guy that is definitely not fucked. It's the one and only leader of Hermano and Sloburn and Kyuss and Vista Chino, and now his own solo project, the one, the only John Garcia. John, how are you, man?
Good, Chris. How you doing?
Excellent, man. Well, John...
Good.
I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan. I absolutely love all the stuff that you've done, which probably you figured out by the fact I'm playing Hermano tunes. But just you've set a bar for this kind of music that everybody else has tried to achieve and has never done. So congratulations right off the bat for that, man.
Well, thank you very much for that. Looking at the bands that I played in throughout all the years, anybody who knows, some of the stuff that I've done knows that I don't like to stay in place for too long. And it's about being exploratory, and it's about being explorative. And this solo record is a direct result of that. And after looking at these collections of songs that I've had in what I call my safety deposit box or my vault, when actually in reality it was just a dusty cardboard box in the corner of my bedroom. I felt bad for these songs. These are songs that were not leftovers. They were not B-sides. These are songs that were close to me. And so to stop neglecting them, and out of just pure exhaustion of holding on to them and looking at them for so long, man, I got to tell you, it feels really good to be where I'm at right now and to release this solo record. It's liberating, and there's a sense of freedom that I have in doing this stuff. So, with all the other bands, even Vista Chino, and them asking me to do another record, I respectively turned it down for now. Mm-hmm. Same with Unida, same with Hermano, and to say no to those projects and to say yes to this collection of songs, man, I got to tell you, Chris, it feels good, and again, I'm in a really good place right now. So,
sure.
But thank you for those comments.
Sure. Well, let's talk about the new record for a little bit, John, because and you sort of hit on it here just with your answer, but that is the one thing that is very different with the solo record from your past. If I pick out Hermano records, they have like kind of I don't want to say a theme because they're not themed, but they have like a musical vibe to it. And then clearly Kyuss had its own vibe to it. Unida had a vibe to it. This one kind of doesn't. There's some songs that are just straight up classic rock sounding songs, and then there's some of the stuff that's the more typical for you, the stoner rock type of stuff. But it really feels like you were exploring a lot of different places. Does that just come only from the creative side of you, or does it come from something you just felt like you were kind of being boxed into with all those other projects?
No, this collection of songs is throughout the years. So we tried to make it conducive, and make it sound like this song's not from 1989. The song is not from 1999, and to breathe new life into some of these compositions. That was the fun part. Being in the studio with Mark Diamond from the Dwarves and Nick Oliveri, Tom Brayton from the Dwarves, as well as Chris Hale from Sloburn and Damon Garrison from Sloburn, Dave Angstrom from Hermano, Dandy Brown from Hermano, and not to mention Robbie Krieger from the Doors. We set out for a concept record, and that was a very simple rock record. But to have it be conducive from the songs throughout all the years and spread out through all these different musicians in a time of a month, that was challenging, but also very unique, and for lack of better words, enjoyable. Being able to create with all of these writers, with these songs that I've had throughout all the years. We were very specific. Harper Hug, my producer, and Trevor, whatever, my producer, in their wonderful studio in Palm Springs, Thunder Underground. It was great to be able to compose these pieces, and it is different than Kyuss or Sloburn or Unida or Hermano. And you're right, they they're all different energies about those bands. And so, but this one is by far the most personal. And you talk about exposing yourself and opening up yourself to not hiding behind a band name and just have it be my name. I'm a little nervous about that, but I would be nervous if I wasn't nervous. But the flip side of the coin is, like I said before, it's an exciting time with the record coming out at the end of this month. The video's dropping on Tuesday on my Facebook page and on the Napalm site, and then an extensive world tour from Australia in September to a big, long, giant run in November, December over in Europe. So, I hope that kind of answered the question and touched base on some of the points that you were talking about.
Sure. Now you mentioned about how many different guys you worked with on the record, and certainly I've been around enough musicians to know that every musician and every band itself has its own little element on the way that they work. Well, being with this many different guys, you got to adjust, or they have to adjust to you with on how you guys work together. Was that all smooth, or was there any kind of this guy works a different way than I do, or this guy works mornings and I work nights? You know what I mean?
There was a lot of that, and to schedule, Nick to get in there, or Mark Diamond to get in there, or Tom Brayton to get in there. A lot of moons had to align up just right to schedule this stuff. I mean, so many musicians, different songs. This composition goes to this guy. This song goes to this guy. When is he going to come in to do that record within the month? It took a lot of planning, and I had a lot of help with that through Harper and Trevor. As far as Nick coming in the evening before a show that he did in Palm Desert, it came down to scheduling like that, where it just worked. Yes, some guys in the morning, some guys in the evening, but I think that the common, denominator through it all that really made it gel is also they were passionate about the songs as well, and they cared about the song as well, and that's another thing that really made it conducive to making it sound like it wasn't, recorded in different decades and whatnot. And I got to give credit where credit is due. And without these guys, without these extremely talented group of musicians and producers, it would not have come out the way it did. So again, I'm really lucky to have surrounded myself with unbelievable players. And the common denominator was the passion for the songs, and they wanted to be involved in it. It wasn't if I asked them, they went, well, I don't know. If that happened, then thank you very much. We'll maybe have a beer later on down the line. But it wasn't. The majority of it wasn't like that. It was yeah, I'll do it. Absolutely, 100%. Let's do it. Where's the song? Show me the song. Or email me the song. So that's what we did, and they were excited about it, and that was a big plus. And again, I can't thank them enough.
Sure. Now let's go back a year, because your album, the Vista Chino record, was my album of the year, and was a lot of people's album of the year. I think it caught a lot of people off guard. It certainly almost universally got great reviews. And yet you're walking away from that, when it probably got the most attention of anything that you've done since Kyuss. What all led into that decision, other than just wanting to break free and do your own project?
After leaving veterinary diagnostics in 2009, and me wanting to get back in fully into my musical career again, I started on a path, and I had a mission. My mission was to reintroduce myself with Garcia Plays Kyuss. I went on different tours, and along that way, I ran into Brent Bjork. We played a couple shows together, and we shared the stage again. And I never I never intended for me to fall back in love with his playing heavily.
Okay.
Being on the stage with Brent again, that was amazing, and Nick Oliveri on top of it was another big part of it. So my career path and the mission went off yet again on a different avenue. You see, I've been wanting to do, Chris, I've been wanting to do the solo record ever since I was 18 years old, and I've always put it on the back burner. So once again, it got put on the back burner, and Nick and Brent and everybody and Bruno always knew from the very beginning, the inception of this, that eventually I was going to do my solo record.
Right.
And so, it was a jaunt that we went on. We worked hard on the record.
Sure.
We went through a lot of shit, to get through that record. We were definitely on a mission to get it done, and we did. And talk about a great band. I mean, there's no question when you're on stage with Mike Dean from Corrosion of Conformity and Brent Bjork and Bruno Fever. I mean, that was a powerhouse. I mean, that's a great band, and I don't consider to it for me to be walking away for something like that. It's just, again, anybody who knows something about my career knows that I don't stay in one spot for no long. And if there's a rule book, I haven't seen it, and I've thrown it out the goddamn window if there was.
Right.
I just follow where the void in my gut is. I have to follow it to get it filled. And I love those guys. There's no weird shit that went on or anything like that. It's just I wanted to get this monkey off my back. And again, I felt bad for this group of songs that I had been looking at for so many years, and that I was passionate about, and they were close to me and my heart. And
sure.
So it feels good to be able to release these guys.
Sure. I'm sure, though, you understand the outsider looking in that most people are going to see, which is, wow, successful project and switches. And I guess my point is it's hard for, like me, I'm certainly not musically inclined, so I would not call myself artistic in any way, shape, or form. That being said, I own businesses, and owning businesses, I focus on the business, where you're really more, and I guess this is probably a picture of your whole career, you're really more focused on the art than what happens with the art. Is that fair?
That's fair. That's really fair. Look, Chris, if I was, it's got to make sense in every way. And if you want to be a true artist, then stay in your fucking bedroom and play for your goldfish. You know what I mean? And I hear so much of that shit. But it's got to make sense, even financially. It has to make sense. I've got 2 wonderful kids, man. I want to see them going to college. I want to be able, but on the flip side of that coin is that if I was in this music business for the bread, I would have quit a long fucking time ago.
Right.
And even in VC, even in Vista Chino, even in Kyuss, so, but you do have to follow your creative being, there was a lot of talk about exactly what you were talking about, the momentum. You had momentum going in Vista Chino, and you could certainly do, more and do another record. And boy, there was a lot of attention. And hey, I enjoy sharing the stage with all the great musicians I had, I have in the past, and this is something that I needed to really get off my back and to finally say yes to. And I was a yes man for so many years, going yes to this, yes to that, yes to this, and it's finally time for me to say no, regardless of the momentum and regardless of the business. I wanted to give these songs the respect that they deserved. And it's not for everybody, and it's not everybody's going to like the record. And I wasn't looking to change the fucking face of rock and roll with this thing, man. These are just songs that were close and personal to me. Again, there's a sense of freedom and there's a sense of liberation when I just got done creating all this stuff, and now here it is, a couple weeks from the release date, and it's an exciting time. Hey, I got a little flack for not doing it, and we talk about momentum, and it came from all angles.
Sure.
You know, from every single angle, from, you know, the band angle, from management, the management angle, to even the booking agencies angles, and going, why, you know, you after everything that you've been through to get through this record, you're just gonna leave? Yeah. Again, if there's a rule book, where is the rule book? I don't play by those rules. I don't do that. Nor I don't have that. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be cool. I don't.
Right.
All I want to do is be a dad and a husband, and a good one at that. And my family allows me to be out on the road and to be in the type of environment that I'm in on a nightly basis. And in 10 years, who gives a fuck anyway? You know what I mean? About what might have happened or could have happened.
Sure.
And Vista Chino's not done yet. I never quit Vista Chino. You know, she's just parked in the garage for a little while. And if and when Brent and Bruno and Mike want to get together again, I might be the first one to go, hey, guys, I'm ready to do another record. And they might tell me, go fuck yourself. You know, we wanted to do this a long time ago. If that's the case, that's the case.
Right.
You know, and I doubt if they'll use that verbiage. I love those guys,
right.
And you know, I just needed to get this music off my back.
Sure.
And again, it feels good.
Excellent. Well, you're going to get it off your back out around the world as well. Talk a little bit about the tour, what people can expect. I mean, I'm going to imagine it's going to be heavily influenced on the new record, but I can't imagine that you're not going to touch on some of these other points in your career. Yeah,
you know, it's me playing past and present. I'm playing some Kyuss songs that even Kyuss never played. You know, Catamaran, Phototropic, Tangy Zizzle, Gloria Lewis.
Okay.
Of course, you know, some of the songs that are still fun for me to sing in Kyuss. So, you know, to touch base on that, to touch base on, you know, bands like, you know, Sloburn, I'm looking forward to it. I've injected some Sloburn songs into the set and concentrating heavily on, obviously, my solo project. So rehearsals already started, and it's great to have a band all from the desert, and we rehearse in Palm Springs, and you know, I don't have, you know, players spread all over the world or all over the United States where we got to fly them in, or I got to fly somewhere, or go to Nijmegen, Holland, or to Antwerp, Belgium to rehearse, or anything like that. It's great to have all local guys, and you know, we're all itching to get out on the road, so excited about, you know, playing past and present.
Excellent. Well, John, the new album is simply called John Garcia. It is a solo release from you, and as a tradition on the show, we always let the artist pick a closing track. So why don't you pick a closing number from the new album and tell us a quick story about it?
Well, why don't we do The Boulevard? It's a song that's you know, it touches base on you know, a little bit of blues, and then some kind of, you know, a little bit of crazy, chaotic, classic John of me. So again, you know, this song's over a decade old, but it was great to be able to breathe new life into it and to have it finally see the light of day. And I'd never envisioned this one to turn out the way that it did, but that was the great part of being in the studio and creating and looking at these songs in a new light, and at where I'm at in my career now. It was great to be able to finally, record these guys, and the song took on a totally different, totally different view, and it wrote itself in the studio, and that was great when songs do that. When you're trying to finish it up or trying to make it a reality, and then it gives you a left hook to the jaw, and it takes you in a totally different direction, and it literally wrote itself. That was the magical part of being in the studio. So this is a direct result of some of that stuff that went down, and it's called The Boulevard. Check it out.
All right, let's check it out right now. It is your Classic Metal Show.